Okay, here we are, December 31st, and the last day of the decade. Um, and we're together. And we have pretty much spent more than half of the past decade together, ever since we met across the street from here. So I've been on this stool several times in the last, 5.5 years, almost 6. Telling stories, talking, and also just like having fun. Just the way we started that very first day when I, for some very weird reason, ended up at the Automatic Slims, the diviest bar in the West Village. And as I was passing by, I thought to myself, why not? No one's here. I can just go in, have a drink, and no one's going to bother me. Until, obviously, the very good looking and also very, very interesting looking guys started, talking to me, came very close, talking to me like next to me in a very loud voice. And there was, there was a couple or 2 girls with their very, very pitchy voices talking next to me, and I was there, and the bartender who decided to just like that give me another freaking beer while I wanted to go, and just kind of like feeling that the guy next to me, it's only gonna take minutes until he starts bothering me with questions. And I'm just thinking to myself, why is this happening? And while I was doing that, and I look back, and here you are, David, the savior, and you go, well, you look cool. I'm there with my assistant Max, and we're cool people. We're not creepers, but we saw what you're doing here. And if you wanna just come over there, sit next to us, we're not gonna talk to you. If you wanna talk, we can talk. If not, you can just sit there and have your beer. And I just thought, look to my left, to my right. I thought, no, that sounds way better. I'm gonna go over and actually gonna do that. Just sit there and, just have my beer next to people that I know are not gonna bother me. Obviously, we started talking and we never stopped for 5.5 years. So that's good. Yeah, and I'm very happy. I am very happy and very glad that actually happened because, moving to New York all by myself, almost 6 years ago was definitely a huge change, and it was just so different. And obviously, I didn't know anyone. My English was good, but I don't think it was very good. I mean, it was fine. It was fine. It's gotten better, and like my voice is also higher now. And I'm actually trying to work on that so that it doesn't happen. So anyway, 5.5 years has gone by so fast, and it's unbelievable everything that has happened in this time. And somehow the important things, they don't change, and one of them is having you in my life, David. And I do hope that never changes. But I've gone from, moving from Switzerland to Hoboken, to Chelsea, to the Greenwich Village, to Battery Park. I keep going down, I keep going south to Battery Park, to Prospect Heights now. And now, I made it to Brooklyn. I'm a Brooklyn person. And yes, I do love it. And I went from, being an accountant in Switzerland to being an accountant here, quit my job, started a company, do freelance, and I'm even thinking of starting a podcast. Who knows? So, all those things have happened in the past 5.5 years, and it's been insane. Just to think about it, how I had really no idea the first time. I literally sat here the first time we met when I was at the bar, if someone had told me in 5 years you're gonna be, still in New York, living in Brooklyn, your company, you have had started your company, you've been, doing all those other things that I'm doing, I wouldn't have believed one thing. It was definitely everything that I never planned to do. So yeah, it has been a hell of a time. And I'm very happy that I ended up at the Slims that day. So and now we're starting into the new year, which is good. And I'm very, very, I'm hoping it's gonna be a good one. So I launched this company that makes workwear for women, and that came out of my own needs that I realized I had after I moved here. I couldn't find anything that I could wear to work that I could keep on and go out after. It was, whatever I would wear to work was just boring and ugly. And whatever I would, wear after work was just not work appropriate. So I started this company, and I'm doing exactly that, so that other women like me don't have to think about it and don't have to, go to work and not know what to wear because they have an event after. So yeah, it's been the craziest thing that I've done, and it's been definitely how do I say it? I mean, everyone says it's a roller coaster. Everyone says, you're going to have so many high ups and downs, and it's it's never ending, and you will never know. And I always thought, everyone's exaggerating, but it's true. It is actually like that. And you start, and your expectations are completely unrealistic because you don't know what's expecting you, and then you start, and then you have to adjust all the time, and you try something new, and then you realize no, this is not how it goes, so you adjust and make changes that you need, keep going until the next mistake. And this is exactly how it goes all the time. And I will do it again. Because while it is very challenging and it is unpredictable, it is also so much fun to actually, be able to do something that, you don't go by the book, you don't have someone to tell you how to do it, and you just figure it out yourself, and you learn so much doing it. So I would completely just start over and do it all over again. Same thing with moving to New York. I moved and I had no idea what was expecting me. Obviously, everyone has this expectation of New York and how it's going to be. And yes, there were some things where I was like, wow, that is exactly what I expected, and that is exactly what's happening. And then there were other things where you're like, okay, that's totally different. That is definitely not what I was expecting, but now I have to deal with it because I'm here and I'm not moving anywhere. So I have to just, figure a way to deal with it. And maybe one of the things that I was so surprised that it was exactly the way you see it in the movies is dating in New York, where the stories that happen are just so unbelievable and so funny that you could, even if you wanted to, you cannot make things like that up. And it's not only like things that has happened to me. Like whenever I meet up with my friends, especially the single ones, and we start sharing stories about what's going on, it's like, oh my God, how is this even possible? How is this happening? How are two regular, 30-something women sitting together, casually having a glass of wine and sharing stories that happened, in a week, not even like our lifetimes. And we have 5 stories that are just so insane and funny that I think if you don't live in New York, you would not believe them. You would just not believe them. And yes, many times whenever they show those stories in the movies, we think, oh, they're exaggerating. They're actually, it can't be that. They're not exaggerating. It's really like that all the time. So yeah, it's fun. Yeah, well, because we were doing exactly that, because we were sitting together and we were thinking, we were just sharing stories, and we were like, this is so funny, this is unbelievable. Why does no one, talk about this? Why is there no blog or something that, just tells stories like Sex and the City, where they just like go and tell all the stories that happen, people dating people in New York. And yeah, ever since Sex and the City, there has been girls, but kind of like a different, it's different. And there's this podcast and column from the New York Times called Modern Love that they actually also made into a series recently, but that's more like, it's not the girls, like it's not specific people talking about whatever they experience, but it's just like different people send their stories to the New York Times, and then those get published, and then they made a series out of it, and it's great. I mean, I loved it, but it's just more like anyone can send the story. So yeah, talking to my friend, we were like, well, what if we start a podcast and talk about exactly what we're what we're talking right now? So we just tell about our dating life, and it might happen. I don't know. We're trying it out. Maybe we don't publish it. Depends on how crazy the stories are. So yeah, we will see.